I think I spent way too much on all this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, or for the first time, to Full Circus! My name is Tristan Sartoris, and this is a very merry, happy anniversary special to the podcast, guys. We are officially one freaking year into this journey that we've stayed hard, dedicated, committed, and loyal to pumping out a half an hour episode of Smile Therapy. Smile, guys, every single week, and I'm very proud to have been on this journey with you guys. You know, I hope that I've made you guys smile lots. Hope we've had a lot of fun together, and you know, you've given me a lot of smiles and a lot of joy, and we're just having fun, guys. That's all the circus is about. We're just having fun at the circus, and I know it's called Full Circus, right? But there's always freaking room. There's always room at the circus, okay? There's not always room in the booth, as you can see. But yeah, at the circus, man, if you're just coming here for the first time and you're thinking, man, the circus is full now, I can't get in there. This sounds like they got peanuts and clowns and they're bobbing for apples and all kinds of games, which there is, okay? But in this theoretical imagined tent, there's always room, okay? The full circus can only get fuller, all right? So there's always room, guys, and I'm happy. I'm freaking happy to be here with you guys. Again, as you can see, dude, like any event or theme or holiday with the podcast, we do it up big, guys. We do it up big. I didn't even think I was going to do any of this. I only wanted to get one single balloon. I was like, hey, you know, there's no room in there. I'm just going to get one happy birthday balloon. One single balloon. That's going to be it. And as you can see, you know, we at Full Circus spared no expense.
Really spectacular. Spared no expense.
Okay, dude, so I went to Dollar Tree, right? Just get a balloon. Very simple. They didn't have balloons. They've always had balloons. For whatever reason, they don't have balloons. And on my way to get there, I was now completely committed to the idea of getting a balloon and some decorations for this podcast. And now I was like, oh, great, they don't have them. So now that I'm committed, I'm going somewhere else. Walmart, bang, no decorations. What? Where's all the happy birthday stuff? Do birthdays just not happen in March? Where are they? So now I'm going to Giant Eagle and Acme, and I went to like 4 or 5 different stores. Nothing. No balloons. No nothing. I can't find any decorations. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spot a giant, fantastical, mythical building that has been there my entire life that I have never stepped foot in. Across the parking lot, 400 yards away. A little place I like to call, well, it's what it's actually called, Party City. Okay? Now, Party City, you don't have to step foot in there to know they were going to have all this, okay? You knew just by the name Party City was going to have the hookup. They were going to be ready for the party. So I'm like, okay, it's a little daunting, a little scary. I don't know why I've never been in there, but now I'm a little scared too. But I say, you know what? It's for Full Circus. It's for the podcast. So I show up, bang. There's St. Patty's Day stuff, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, holidays I'd never even heard of. And then bang, down the aisle, I see it. Happy birthday, okay? They have all the events, all the themes, all the parties, all the festivals, everything you could ever imagine and dream of, they have it. And I see it. My birthday decorations I need, okay? They got this big balloon, like, thing, right? This whole thing, you can make your custom balloons, we'll pop them up in order, get everything you could possibly dream of. Come get it, Tristan. Come get it. I'm like, wow, it's crazy you knew my name. So I run over there. I need a balloon. Now. Happy birthday. And like, okay, yeah, that's great. You know, tons of little boys and little girls love to come get balloons. So you're looking for a happy birthday thing, right? All right, well, just look around. We have all these custom decorations and designs. You just pick one. I'm like, that one right there with the flaming monster trucks. I love it. I like it. I need it. Okay? And like, okay, sure. I mean, again, like I said, like, you know, tons of little boys. This is kind of like a favorite among them. So you just grab the number. What is that? I'm like, it's 137. And like, yeah. They're like, okay, so who's the little boy? Who's the birthday for? I was like, it's for me. I need it. And like, oh, okay. Well, happy birthday, I guess. Like, it's not even my birthday. 137. I'm ready. And so there was a lot of confusion just going on in the whole store as a thing, and I was making a little bit of a scene here. And that was the part where it crossed my mind. I was like, I could probably explain what I'm doing, right, as a 23-year-old guy running to get these little kids decorations and happy birthday balloons. But I just didn't feel like it was necessary, because I wanted to embrace the awkward, right? I've talked about this on the show before. Awkward moments are good. They don't always come by, and when they do, I want to embrace them. I don't want to run from them. It's like freaking, trying to hug an ostrich, right? You can't handle an ostrich. Whoops. Okay, because even if you can somehow wrap around the body, there's still this freaking giant neck, right? There's no way to handle an ostrich. So I just want to get in there, dude. I want to get in there with that ostrich. I want to embrace this awkward moment. So I'm looking there like a complete goon, a goober. And I'm just like, yeah, I want all these decorations. They're for me. I'm just trying to, any more context you want to provide with that? No. The monster trucks will be great. Also, all this then I was walking out there and I saw this freaking big party deck of all these extra things, and I spent way too much money. And there's way too many decorations in here. I thought, there's no such thing as too many decorations. I'll prove it. I wasted so much money. This balloon alone, this custom balloon, was $6.50. You ever heard of a $6.50 balloon? I hadn't. Kind of worth it though. But like I said, we spared no expense.
Absolutely spectacular design. Spared no expense.
Okay? That's just what you do with the podcast. And $6.50 might not sound like a lot to you. But when you're unemployed, as I am, that's currently more than I'm projected to make in a year. So, we're definitely, we didn't have that in the budget. But we did it anyway, guys. We spared no expense.
Spared no expense.
So, happy birthday to the podcast. Happy birthday to everyone who's been on this journey. I'm so thankful to have you guys here with me. And, like I said, I don't work there at the sales job I was talking about the last episode, where I announced that I was basically quitting before I had even told them that I was leaving. So, my mom was like, hey, you sure you want to put that out there? Because, you kind of said you're quitting. They don't. I was like, what are they going to do? Fire me? Come on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, so I eventually, I did call them. I was like, yeah, let me just stop you right there. I got to tell you, I can't, I'm done. And, to their credit, they were very respectful and understanding, and I kind of wish they weren't, because I wanted an extra podcast story. Like this whole podcast, this whole freaking festival, it's all about content, providing good stories. But they were like, yeah, no, totally, it's not really for everybody. I'm like, okay, way to be mature and a grown-up. Okay, I was kind of hoping you would freak out and we were going to have a back and forth, maybe we could have had a great dialogue, but they didn't. So that was the end, dude. My salesman story, the life of a salesman, man. 4 days in, and I just couldn't do it. There was a lot of great times. We had all the studying, the training, the failed tests, the beautiful podcast stories, a nickname that was forged from the ashes of deception. It was a beautiful time, and I'm so happy to be done with it. Okay, so it was great, and thanks for following me around with that story. Thanks for guys for really rooting me on. But now we're back to doing what we do best, guys. Being unemployed, yeah. Okay, living the actor's dream, man. Working from job to job. But that's the dude. That's the game, dude. It's so yeah. Anyways, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I really am. Look at all this. Look at this mess. Look at everything. This is what it looks like inside my brain when I say, hey, this is interesting thoughts. This is Tristan's brain. This is really what it looks like. All the time, if I close my eyes, I see it. So I've really brought my visions into reality. I've really, created a landscape for myself to really thrive and live in. And I feel like I'm completely at home now, because it's like, whoa, we're here. Hey, guys. But yeah, guys, 1 year, one freaking year. I'm really happy and so grateful. And I was thinking about writing like a little speech, like a little, grateful. Hey guys, I'm so appreciative of you guys. We've come so far. So, everything and all the beautiful crafted moments. And it was going to get sappy. He was going to get so sappy. I'm talking like put on your pancakes sappy. I'm talking an arborist wouldn't touch it sappy. I'm talking make you weep and cry so much that there's a shortage of tissues. I'm talking devastating, weeping, more than Titanic or some other sad movie that probably exists, okay? But I didn't want to put in that time. No, I just thought, you know what? There's so many amazing, grateful, thankful speeches out there. Why write your own when you could just look at them and learn and craft it and figure out one from there? So that's what I did. I spent some time looking up some speeches, and there was a lot of great ones. They're kind of just average, and you realize when you do look at that, there's not a lot to it. They just say, hey, I really appreciate my wife. Don't have a wife. I really appreciate my kids. Don't have kids. So it's hard to really pick and pull from there. And they say, I'm just, thank you so much because it means a lot to me. And I've already said that. So I couldn't really find any deep, beautiful meaning. So I was wrong. There wasn't a ton of great speeches out there to pull from, but I did find one speech in particular, okay, that I thought was quite bizarre. It was a little odd. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this is just because it's a different culture, a different land, something that's foreign to me, both figuratively and literally. But I went to go check out the comments. And all the comments were like, what? No, I don't understand. It was mystifying and bewildering everybody who came into contact with this speech. So I was like, okay, so it's not just because, I don't understand, but it's that this guy is the weird one. Because as a weird person, I always like to give other weird people the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, maybe, he's just normal in a weird world. He's not the weird one in a normal world. Maybe we could relate. Maybe there's some weirdness or strangeness that I can, maybe it's just people just misunderstanding, right? But as someone I couldn't understand and other people couldn't understand, and I was like, okay, he is odd. He's more odd than me. I can't even get on this level to try and comprehend. So I wanted to share the video with you guys, and maybe we can dissect it together and figure it out. But also, I loved his speech. I didn't understand it, but it really felt like it came from the heart, the soul, okay? He was speaking from the soul and from the depths of his deep, beautiful, grateful heart. And I wanted to share that with you guys today. So we're going to look at the ultimate, beautiful, grateful speech that is ever known to man. So let's check this out real quick.
The recipient of the 2019 President's Award.
It's a big deal.
What's going on through your mind right now?
As flies to wanton boys, we are for the gods. They kill us for the sport. Soon the science will not only be able to slow down the aging of the cells, soon the science will fix the cells.
Dude, he's 10 seconds into this thing. Immediately starts off with an insect to an animal analogy and then moves into science. I keep trying to follow him. You pick up, you think he knows where he's going, and then he shifts it over to another genre. It's like, we'll keep going for a minute, but I love this guy.
To the state. And so we become eternal.
And so, with all of what I just said, at the end of that, we become eternal. Huh? This guy's so great, dude. So hey, wait, one of the best part is coming up real quick.
Only
he doesn't know what he's saying, and that's the beauty of it, dude. He thinks he's just accepting all of the rewards at this point. He's just going through everything that he can. He's like, the really, really hard suction of your mouth, like, and there's shit something in your brain. It's like, let's talk about something else now. So
only accidents, crimes, wars will still kill us. But unfortunately, crimes and wars will multiply.
Shoot,
I love football. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. So now to have both of you here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, like he's just kind of going with it. He's spitting it free, and I love it, dude. We can make fun of it and say it's weird, but it's because he's on a different level of weirdness. Like how I'm like, okay, I'm weird. People don't understand me. He's past that. He understands more than we could ever. So what I want to do is try and dissect that and pick that apart. But my goodness, he's just kind of spitting off the brain, and then he's like, oh shoot, I've gone too far. It's like, as flies, we're for the goats. We're for the goats, and after we're eternal, basically, wars and crimes multiply. And he looks around and he realizes that nobody's with him. Nobody understands what he's saying, dude. So everyone's like, huh? Like when you're like stuck in a seat, but you want to get away from it, so you just only tilt your head back. You're like, oh my gosh. Everyone is like, huh? And there's just this dead pause where he's like, I love football. It's like that's like the cliche like football movie where like the nerdy kids like I speak something and they're like win this and this and this and this. Crickets. North Bay football rules. Yeah. It's like I love football. Okay, yeah, we can pick up part of that. Man, I love this guy. This guy's great, but we need to really go back and dissect this guy completely because, like I said, he really is on a different level, and he's just being misunderstood, and I can relate to being misunderstood. So we're gonna craft it, and we're gonna figure this out because I need a very powerful, grateful speech. And how can I do that if I can't even understand the greatest one of all time? So let's go back to this, okay?
The recipient of the 2019 President's Award.
The President's Award, right? I didn't even preface this, but this is a soccer award, right? It's not just for like red, white, and blue football, pigskin. No, this is soccer. You know, the President's Award of the UEFA. It's some sort of organization. I don't really follow soccer, so but I can understand this is a pretty big deal. This is a big achievement, right? He's receiving it, the President's Award 2019. Proud of this guy, and
So what's going on through your mind right now?
I mean, this guy, he really opened it up for this dude in the first place. What is going on through your mind right now? He didn't say, do you want to say something to, the people that voted you or people that supported you all the way. He said, what's going on through your mind right now? And if someone asked me that, I would show them this, So, I mean, he really opened it. And this guy, he delivered a speech that you could only expect from someone who wore a pink-red button down to a black tie event. So here we go. Come on, man. Give it to me. I'm going to dissect it. You guys, I don't want anyone thinking he's stupid or crazy or whatever. He's misunderstood. Okay, he's a genius. Come on, buddy. Lay it on him. Lay that wisdom.
As flies to wanton boys.
As flies to wanting boys. Okay? Now, to the average ear, you might be thinking, oh, he's talking about an insect and then children. And you'd be right. That is what he's saying. But that's not what he's saying, guys. That's not what he's saying. Get deep. So as a fly, dude, what's a fly? It's vulnerable, okay? It's small. It doesn't really have a lot of meaning or depth or value in the world. So he's like, as flies to wanting boys or maybe it's a city around it. Wanting boys. Wait, we're wanting boys. Hey, we're wanting boys. As flies, and we were just wanting boys, dude. Not like we were wanting, but we were wanting boys. We were very insignificant and small, and we were just wanting boys. And then
We are for the goats.
we're for the goats. He is for the goats, and all the wanting boys are for the goats. You know what that means, right? They were insignificant, and they were just wanting boys, but then they became for the goats, and they were always for the goats. But what is a goat, right? The goat, dude. What's a goat give you, man? A goat's useful for meat, milk, a lively companion. A goat has many uses. A goat is very useful. A goat is kind of sacrificed. It's used a lot for small things, and it's kind of taken advantage of. There were small insects, guys, and they were wanting boys, and then they weren't for the goats, they were the goats. Okay, he misspoke there. That's on him, and that's I'm sure he was nervous. So he was saying that he was basically, this is what he's trying to say, guys. I can read him. I know what he's saying. We are the goats. We are the goats, okay? We are the goats, me and him, and we are the goats, and then
They kill us for the sport.
they kill us for the sport. Now you might be thinking, the sport of what, right? The sport of game. Like you're hunting the game, you're killing the goat because you're trying to get it, dude. I'm dissecting this guy. It's not even that funny because it's so real. You should really take psychology because you can just really understand people at a different level. But so he's saying, man, we're just so small and we're just these wanting boys, and then eventually we become useful to the sport. But you think in the sport of hunting? No, the sport of soccer. It's a double meaning right there. Okay, we became useful, sacrificial even to the sport that they hunt us. They're using us, right? You're this boy, right? You have this dream of going to soccer. You're just a wanting boy, right? And then we're for the goats. We are the goats, and you get to the point where they start using you for this soccer. I mean, I don't know if he's speaking bad about the franchise of soccer, but that's what I feel like he's doing, even though he's accepting an award for it. So I don't know, but I'm just saying that those are the words. I'm translating properly because I can understand them at a different level of weirdness.
Soon the science
Frick. Soon the science. Why did you talk about science, man? Okay, well, we need to hear more.
will not only be able to slow down the aging of the cells,
Soon, the science will not only be able to slow down the aging of the service. What does that mean? Seriously, what does that mean? Soon the science, guys, okay, listen. Soon the science, let me begin. As flies to wanting boys, we're for the goats. And soon the science will be not only able to slow down the aging of the service. Slow down the aging of the service. Slow down. I mean, I think he's trying to say that, not only will science expand, but he's not just talking science in general. He's probably saying like, lotions or some sort of skincare routines. Science is evolving, right? And now we look younger. It's slowing down our aging of the service so we can play soccer longer.
Soon the science will fix the service.
So the science will fix the service because we'll look younger, and when you look younger, you feel younger, and you can play soccer longer. I'm with this guy. I know what he's saying, dude. That's what he's not talking about science and some sort of, crazy lab experiments. He's just talking about like Neutrogena and stuff like that, stuff to really help you and feel better about yourself. He's saying, hey, we can all use some of this. Soon the science will benefit us in such a way that we can continue doing what we love, playing soccer. But the problem is that we're being sacrificed and used like goats.
To the state.
Sad. To the state.
And so we become eternal.
And we become eternal, basically. I mean, he's exaggerating a little bit here, and I think that's where most people, they get twisted, and they're like, what do you mean eternal, right? What's this guy talking about? You just become eternal? No, he means like we're going to have longevity in the sport of the game, and that's a beautiful thing, man. So props to science and for these new routines and just being able to keep ourselves younger. There's all kinds of stuff, and not just like medicinal lotions and all kinds of stuff like that, but like healthy exercises and making sure you're getting your vitamins and water. Like we've learned a lot about our bodies and what it takes to really keep a youthful, self, so we can keep doing what we love, and that's being the GOAT, but not in that bad way, but just like, as a wanton boy, we strive to just continue doing what we love, and that's soccer, but not at a GOAT level. You know what I'm saying?
Only accident.
Okay, so this part's gonna get tricky because he's really just spitting it out and he doesn't know what he's about to say. So I'm gonna have to really stay in the zone here for a minute. So let me just really think. Come on, man. So only
crimes, wars will still kill us.
Only through accidents, wars, and crimes will we still die. And I think what he's saying is that that when you're playing soccer at such a long level, there's bound to be increased accidents and sometimes crimes because that happens, and wars. Because if you're staying in the game for so long, all these rookies are trying to come in too. Like there's new wanton boys rising through the ranks. But if you're still playing the game, now they have a rival, someone to stay bitter at. So now there's war, and now they're going to try and commit some crimes on you, and maybe they'll frame it as an accident. And it's not good. It's hard, and it's really, this guy's worried about it, you can tell. And he's just really trying to speak his mind, and it's a shame that people just aren't really picking that up.
But unfortunately, crimes and wars.
Crimes and wars. So not just accidents. He's saying only through accidents, crimes, and wars will we, probably die, but no more after we're, healthy and at a different level. There won't be any more accidents. Just strictly crimes and wars.
Will multiply. I love football. Thank you.
I love football. So what he's saying, yeah, like he said, so as flies, dude, as very insignificant kids just growing up, having a dream, right? We were just wanting boys, and we strived for this great goal, and we achieve it. And once we achieve these things, we become for the goats, right? We become for the goats. We're for the goats. We are the goats. And we strive when we get to this point that now we're sacrificial to the game, to the people above us, to, probably the president, the peer press people are winning these president's awards, probably him, but, I don't know. So now we're just these wanting boys, and now we're in this pickle where everything we love is kind of turning on us and using us, guys. They're taking advantage of us. And then after that, we have to come to the realization that if we want to keep on doing what we love, obviously science is going to expand, and we're going to learn new ways to keep on playing the game and have longevity, kind of like with Tom Brady, right? He stayed at such a young and powerful and healthy physique that he was playing until 45. Not a lot of people have done that. Nobody's done that. So now as science is progressing, they're able to play soccer longer, guys. Just wanting boys get to the point that they get flipped on, they're stuck, but if they stay, we stick it out, we'll be able to play this thing basically eternally. He's exaggerating, obviously, so he's just saying eternally. But the problem with that is there's just too many people in the game now. There's too many people in the sport, and now there's wars and crimes on each other. And And the last point is it just really speaks for itself, is that he loves football. He does. You can tell just by the way he speaks. And I thought, at the beginning that he was just saying that because he was uncomfortable and he didn't know what to say, but that was just the icing on the cake. It was just all saying that we love football, we just only want to progress it, but he was also warning us of the dangers, and then he just caps it off with a beautiful 3-word freaking closer. I love football. Listen to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Roaring
So now to
crowd.
have both.
Everyone freaking loves this guy. They just don't know it yet. So, man, that guy is he's on a different level, man. He just is. And it's a shame that people don't give him the amount of credit that he deserves. I looked through the comments, and I saw it, and when I didn't understand it at first until I took a second to break it down, and hopefully we can give this guy the appreciation and respect that he deserves. So, he covered all the bases, and there's nothing more to say about that. So, what I want to do is take from that experience that I want to really translate into my acceptance speech, because I want to say thank you, guys. I want to say thank you for being a part of this journey with the podcast. So I want to start that off just by saying, as snowmen from Spotify, we are for the shovels. And as soon, obviously, as hair products and hairspray progresses, we can only have a higher level hold and tease our hair up, and with that comes, different height levels and different advantages in our culture. And it can be a good thing, but at the same time, you have to understand that there's lies and deception that will multiply. I love podcasts.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, dude, yeah! I spoke the words from my heart as deep it is. That's for my hero, whatever his name was, man. We're on a different level. I really need to put this podcast out there, so hopefully people who somehow stumble upon that clip and they recognize it and they go, man, this guy just knew. He knew. And he understood. And that's it really, and I hope you guys kind of understood it now. Maybe it's hard, hearing it from someone you didn't understand, but when I just spoke from my heart right there, you're like, oh, I get it. I get the metaphors and the translations, because, not only is he just weird, but also we're looking into his mind. So what better way in time for you to really understand how I'm feeling than right now? Anyways, guys, what's going on? I haven't started the podcast yet. Just been talking around and spitting. Dude, oh yeah, for my interesting thoughts, man. For my interesting thoughts, because, hey, if this is your new time to the circus, is the circus getting larger? I want to say, usually we do a little bit here, okay, for the year. The year cap off, what's my interesting thought? What have I been thinking about this week? If you look around here, maybe you'll figure it out. What would I be thinking about? I'll tell you. Time, dude. And why, when we say, hey, it's 8:45, do we say, it's 8:45? Listen, okay, I get it. You're probably like, what's the big deal? I'll tell you what the big deal. Wasted syllables. Everyone's like, oh, just say it's 8:45. Is it fancier? It's shorter? It's not shorter. 8:45. 45. Save a syllable, Jack. Look at that. And if you do 15, it's even less. So I have a problem with everyone who's like, hey, say it's 1/4. I'm like, I would always say, hey, it's 8:45. Like, okay, it's 8:45. What? Don't try and correct me or step on my toes and say I'm not saying it right. Like, I'm not going from, I'm not sure. I have a freaking monster balloon. So I'm trying to say that it's ridiculous. I know my syllables. And I remember when I was a kid, dude, I went to school in 2nd grade, and we were learning syllables, okay? I understand my syllables. They had us freaking put our hand right under your chin. And they'd say, just say your name. And every time that your chin hits your hand, that's a syllable. Now, it wasn't like the best exercise ever, because some people would be like, my name is Steven. And you're like, no, they're just not 4 syllables in Steven. Okay. But I understood my syllables, and I was ready, and I've learned that from a long time. And also, that's the class. You just look around in the classroom and like, Steven, abacus, and no one got it right. So, that's probably why everyone keeps saying 8. What am I saying? 8:45, the wrong way. Okay. Dude, it's 8:45. It's not 8:45. Stop saying it. I don't like it. You're wasting words, okay? And as someone who likes to talk a lot, I don't waste words, okay? You think he's just speaking a lot of nonsense. He likes to talk. Well, yeah, I love my voice, but that's not the point. Point is, everything I say, every single syllable has meaning and value, okay? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I forgot about it, okay? What I'm trying to say is, from my Italian roots, I was taught not to waste your words. Okay, and I don't. And just because I talk a lot doesn't mean I have anything less to offer. It just means I'm offering a lot of value. You're welcome. So that's my deal. That's my interesting thoughts. And I forgot to do the jingle, but so that guys, that was interesting thoughts. I just really wanted to share that with you because it is important. It's an important program of the podcast. And I know this podcast has kind of been all over the place and a little bit different because we just reviewed a thing for like 15 minutes or whatever, and it's hard to kind of dissect where I am and all this mess, but I'm having fun, guys. I'm having fun. This podcast is going to be whatever it's going to be, okay? And I don't know what that is all the time, but I can expect that this next year will only be even more powerful and great and fantastic and big and large and huge and ginormous and other words that mean that, okay? Google synonyms for large. That's what this next year is going to be, guys, because we only progress. This was just the warm-up. That's the truth. This whole freaking year zero, a full circus, that's just the warm-up. But I do appreciate you guys being here for this whole time. It has been a special run. And no, we haven't learned how to stop tripping over our words. And no, we haven't learned how to close a podcast. And we haven't, completely discovered our comedic voice. We've talked about it before, and I don't know what the proper stance is. That the one thing that I've like truly gathered with like a comedic voice is that you got to have a really hard, aggressive stance on something that doesn't matter. Kind of like what I just did. So I guess I'm doing it right. I've tried to have an aggressive stance on things, but the problem is I just don't care. You have to find things that you really are passionate about. Because I tried to have one, I'm like, freaking, I shouldn't have to put my carts away in the parking lot because I don't work here. If I start doing that, then I'm depriving this guy of his motivation and passion for his job. I'm stealing. Now he's out of a job. He's going to get fired because they're watching the security game saying this guy's not doing anything. Everyone's putting their own cart away. You would lose a job. So stop telling me to put my cart away, okay? I'm literally creating work by leaving the cart in the parking lot. You understand? And that's how I tried to be more passionate and heated about that. But the truth of the matter is I do put my cart away, and I am, unfortunately, putting people out of work. So maybe I'm the bad guy. Who is the bad guy in that scenario? That's a deep thing. We need to contact the guy who caught the speech because he understands life at a different level than even I do. But what's else going on? What's else? Dude, I got a haircut. As you could say, dude. You boy looking fresh. Okay. And I talked about the last time I got a haircut back in August or September. It was my first time going to this hair place. And this lady, and I had this free coupon, and this lady cut my hair up, and it was great, and I was like, see ya, and I didn't tip her or do anything because I didn't know that's what you were supposed to do, and I said the next time I go back to a place, I'm dropping a fat tip, okay, I'm going to go back to her, I'm going to drop that fat tip. I tried, unfortunately she wasn't there, but I did go back, and I wish that other lady was so nice, okay, and it's unfortunate that I didn't tip her because the person that I got she wasn't as nice, okay? And just so you know, okay, before I finish the story, I did tip her. I did tip her more than the amount to make up for my errors in a previous time of my life, even though I don't have the money to be doing that. I didn't have the money for a haircut in general, but that's just the nature of the game. What is the game? Empty pockets. But anyways, yeah, so I go into this, and this lady... Dude, so obviously I'm someone who likes to make jokes. That's how I kind of befriend people. That's how I have a fun little moment. That's how I just kind of try to create light. And you can kind of realize pretty quickly when someone isn't into it. You know what I mean? So I go to sit down in this chair, and she brings the freaking curtain, whoosh, like she's a magician about to make me disappear. She's like, whoosh, just trying, all this big mess, and I'm like cracking a little jokes. I hit her with the magician quip and a couple other things, and she doesn't even smile, doesn't say a thing. She's like, I'm like, oh, this lady's not into it. Okay. Now, this is normally in a life where I'd say, okay, you got to know your audience. Just stop, just relax, just be in the context, in the circumstances that you are presented, okay? So stop making jokes, just do whatever, but nay, okay? Because I am someone to embrace the awkward. I can't. It's hard to grab, but I'm gonna try. Okay. So I'm like, this is an awkward moment. Let's make it weirder. Okay. So I'm gonna keep on trying to make these jokes. I'm like, I'm gonna break this lady. Okay. She's gonna laugh. So I hit her with a couple more jokes. Nothing. Falling flat. We're halfway through this haircut. I'm getting scared now. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. I'm trying to bang up these things on the spot. And nothing's really working, dude. She just, when someone's really stiff, you're like, dude, I'm gonna make you laugh, lady. I'm gonna make you laugh. And it just isn't working. So then we get sent over to that one part, the part that I've described before, the Chamber of Doom, right, where they sit you in the god awful massage chair made of gravel, and you're like, oh, okay. And dude, also another thing is, why do like people like, it's just like this big special, or whatever, like they do all this stuff. We're gonna wash your hair and massage you, fat tail, like. They act like you have to do everything for me. Like I'm trying to sit in the chair and there's like a little lever, right? You can just lean it back. She's like, well, I got it. I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. And I tried to get up. She's like, I could just sit up. She's like, hold on. Let me press the button. Like lean me forward so it just drops me out of my seat. Like she's like, oh, can I tie your shoe? Like just relax. So there's a part where like she dropped like a clipper and I bent over to grab it and pick it up to her, and it's like it looks like everyone like stopped. Like, what did he just do? He's not supposed to be doing this stuff. Like they'd never seen anyone like help out or something. So they're like, I got it. So they just keep trying to do everything. But anyways, I get sent back to this freaking horrible chair, and she's leaning it back, and I'm like, oh God, okay. And I wanted to complain and kind of skip this whole thing, but I didn't want to ruin my chances of this laugh. I was trying to stay in this thing. I was like, oh yeah, okay, you were helping me. You're giving me a big service. Wanted to make her feel appreciated, which is not what I was feeling. Okay, so I get sent back in this chair, and she's like, wash my hair. I'm like, this is uncomfortable. I don't like it. And as you know, they do the freaking scalding hot towels, and she's like lays the towel spraying over my face. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't like this. She's like, all right, now does that feel good? I'm like, yes. And I'm dying. And she's like, okay, and this is the part where they go over the specials again that you could upgrade. She's like, okay, well, if you actually offer up for another $15, we offer you the special lava package, and we'll pull scalding hot freaking magma over your eyelids. And would you like that? I'm like, some other time perhaps. And so she pulls out the towel. She's like, oh, this is getting too cool. I'm like, yeah, it was getting a little better. She's like, let me just get a fresh one. I hear the freaking steam of my flesh burning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really sacrificing a lot for this laugh. And we get out of this chair. I'm like, oh, I freaking pull this towel off my face because I can't touch it because she wants to do everything herself. And so I get out of there. I'm like, oh, okay, keep on walking. Get back to the chair. We'll go back to the chair. I'm like I just got beat up and tortured. I'm dying here. I'm like, it's a sacrifice. I want to make this girl laugh somehow. I just turn. I look at myself in the mirror. She's like, okay, this is how your hair's looking. And all I see is just a giant ring of red across my face. And I was like, yeah, it looks great. The hair, I forgot about the haircut. Didn't even know, because this whole other experience is like, just like you're shifted from a whole nother world. Like, I came here for a haircut, not for some freaking kung fu game where I get slammed and smacked up and I have to pay you for it. So anyways, I'm suffering and going through this thing, and I just don't know if this is worth it. I don't. Like, man, I'll go learn to cut my hair at home. I'll just skip this whole package. I don't want to be a part of this, but I want this laugh. Okay, dang it, I'll freaking embrace that ostrich. So I'm really just trying to get it, and I lay some more couple jokes down. I'm laying everything down, and nothing's biting. And then eventually I did get a laugh, and it was just like the dumbest little thing ever, where I got up from the chair and I like pulled the thing out, and she was like an older lady, and I pulled the thing. She's like, is it looking good? I was like, I'm looking like the cover of June. That was just like a joke, like a calendar joke, calendars. You probably don't, because I mentioned it before that calendars are kind of out of stock, but that's besides the point. Anyways, that made her laugh, and I went, yes, yeah. And so that was, and then I wasn't satisfied because my face was still completely red. And I was like, oh God, I'm dying, I just like, oh crap, was this worth it? Really? And so that was my whole experience. And then I was like still trying to be nice. Oh yeah, dude, before that, I was trying to be nice and go along with this whole thing where it's like, yeah, so you want to buy this certain hair paste and this tea tree stuff that, you can only get here, by the way. And I was like, you can only get it here? Why? She's like, well, you can only buy here. You're like, what about like a Walmart? And I was like, no. I was like, what about online? No. Any other store? Some sort of like hair care store? No, of course not. Because if they sold other places, we wouldn't kind of have that value. You see what I'm saying? And obviously, I was a salesman for like 4 days, okay? So I know what you're trying to do. But I acted like I did, and I went, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I obviously I didn't buy it because, I was in no mood to spend more money. But even though I went through this whole thing and still had to remember that I was going to give a big tip because I said I would. I'm a man of my words, and they're all valuable, by the way. So anyways, I'm just like being nice and we get through that. And now that I got my laugh after that one point, I'm like, yeah, and I run out and I'm like, oh, okay, now I pay $40. Oh god. So I didn't have that in the budget. I'm unemployed. So anyways, that was how I got my haircut. Guys, this has been Fall Circus. I know it's been kind of crazy and off the rails and full of streamers. But I do want to say I appreciate you guys to the utmost degree of scolding hot towels. Okay, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you're having fun and a beautiful weekend because you're making mine every single time we do this show. And I'm not gonna say anymore because I really already said what I wanted to. But the truth is that we are for the goats, and that everything is gonna be okay. And don't get too sappy, but if we become eternal, then all we have left is football. So, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. That's all I got to talk about. I'm sure there was more in my notes, but I don't remember. Guys, it's been a year. I don't remember the close of the show. So, we just go. Oh, sweet balloon, how I love you.
Oh. Wow. Puffing this helium like it's nobody's business.